Hold on, I don't get it. Why did you scratch Point?
Missed a team meeting. Everyone's got to be held accountable.
The dude misses one meeting and you scratch him? Isn't that kind of harsh?
Didn't you guys famously trade Tyler Seguin for missing a team brunch?
No, we famously traded Tyler Seguin because he slept with a bunch of wives and daughters. And then missed a team brunch. It's totally different.
So it wasn't for missing the brunch?
No, I mean it was. It's just because the other stuff too.
Okay.
It was a really important brunch.
Low quality fans of a high quality Bruins team. That is a dub.
Pretty solid dub, if you ask me. That's a pretty solid dub. Is this a sustainable brand of hockey? We'll talk about that. But a dub's a dub's a dub. It's 2 dubs in a row against 2 playoff teams. You'll love to see it. And you needed to see it, right? We needed to see it. We were really at this kind of rock bottom feeling for this team. And now you at least feel a little better. But a lot is going on, such as liking, commenting, and subscribing. Nailed it. No, quick little PSA, public service announcement. High Quality Fiance's birthday is this week. We're doing birthday celebrities. We're not doing birthday celebrities. That's not what we're doing. We're doing birthday celebrations throughout the week, but the big celebration is on Saturday. The Bruins have a game Saturday. I have no idea if I'm going to be available to watch and or cover that game at all. I don't think I am based on the plan, but we will see. So tentatively, I'm probably not going to be around this weekend, but we will see. The Tampa Bay Lightning, who we should be talking about really quickly. We just played them. We lost 4-1 in our last meeting, which was just a few days ago. They have the best offense in the league. Braden Point has more power play goals than the Islanders have the whole season. And they have a top 10 defense as well. Oof, we're in trouble. Braden Point, though, is unavailable for this one. A team suspension, from what I saw? Overslept for a meeting there, bud? That's a Bruin would never, right? Missing breakfast? Nah, not us. The Bruins are going to have to deal with a lot of line changes because, as you know, Hampus is still out. Well, now McAvoy is also on injured reserve because he had a nagging injury that they're finally deciding is too nagging to continue dealing with. So they're going to give him a rest for a couple of games. Then putting him on IR means he's going to miss at least a couple. Callahan will move into the lineup. For him, Coyle was a game-time decision, but he would play. Wahlstrom gets scratched. McLaughlin gets waived. So there's a lot of movement right here. Poitras gets brought up. Lettieri gets brought up. And then Callahan will get brought up. So let's go through the lines real quick. Marchand, Lindholm, Lettieri. Geeky, Zaka, Pasta. Frederick, Poitras, Coyle, Kepke, Beecher, Brazeau, Zadorov, Carlo, Lori, Wotherspoon, Callahan, Peak, and Swayman and Net. I think we can all be forgiven for looking at those lineups and assuming that the Boston Bruins were about to get their teeth kicked in, whether Point was there or not. That is, your top pair being Zadorov, Carlo isn't great. Your second pair being Lori, Wotherspoon is terrifying. That's so bad. Vinny Lettieri is on your top line. Or second line, because I continue to refer to it as our second line and the Geeky Zaka Pasta as our first. So top 6 either way, not great. Nice to see Poitras back. It's very much out of necessity, but I think he did enough to stick around for a game or two just to see if he can, catch back up to speed. But we'll talk about him a little later. I mentioned the defense, weak, but Callahan over Mitchell, I do believe, is the right decision because Mitchell is prone to just these crazy gaffes that leaves the team in really bad situations, whereas Callahan doesn't have a lot of that talent to work with, speed or size or really any of those things, but he's steady. You know what you're getting. I would rather have that over Mitchell right now for sure. It is a little tough, though, because you look at that and go, Lori is not really playing up to an NHL pace. Wotherspoon is at times. Callahan isn't an NHLer. It's just a tough grouping down there at the bottom 6. Also, don't worry, Fabian Lysell. You, as you remember, didn't do anything to hurt your chances, hurt your opportunities for another call-up in that one game you got. I know we said that, but we're going to call up Vinny Lettieri instead of you. Ugh, okay. I disagree. I know that Lettieri is like top 5 in scoring in the AHL this year. I understand that. I really do. But if you're bringing a guy up to play in the top 6 of an NHL squad, maybe a 30-year-old dude who's a lifer, tweener between the NHL and AHL isn't the move. Maybe you bring up the guy who at least has the speed to keep up with the other top line members there, and you're trying to see if could be a full-time member of this squad. Just felt like a really easy opportunity to get Lysell back in here, and they didn't take it. I think the tip of the cap to Lettieri and bringing him in because of how well he's performed is admirable. It just doesn't make sense in a long-run strategy kind of way. Don't really get it. It sends a weird message to the prospects too, I think. It also might send a good message. The weird message part of it is, hey, we're just going to go with the vet who I trust more. But the positive side would that be like, hey, this guy's outscoring you. So, like, pick it up. You know? I guess I can see both sides of that. I don't like it. And Lettieri was mostly invisible tonight, in my opinion. But that's okay. We'll move on. Let's talk about this game a little bit. It was a great game. It was an exciting game. And it was a game that had levels to it. Levels. Layers, like an onion or an ogre. Puck drops! And we're 4.5 minutes in. And what a start for Patra back in the NHL. Hedman mismanages a puck on the blue line of our zone, allowing Patra to pick it up, and he's going to lead a 2v1. He's going to skate down the right side. And instead of forcing a pass early, instead of telegraphing his move the whole way, he looks to his left, looks at the net, looks at the defender. The defender is going to sell out, get on his belly, try to block as much space as he can. Patra quickly realizes he has enough speed and space to get beyond that and chuck the puck across the front of the crease to get dunked by Frederick. It is 1-0 early. Now, they criticized Patra a lot for this, Brick and Judd, because they were talking about how he got too in tight and how advantageous that is for the goaltender, which, to be fair, is correct. It does allow Vasilevsky to just poke this if he's able to time it properly when it's coming across his net front like that. Well, guess what? He didn't. And he couldn't. Because Patra not only does this in a very fluid and quick way, but when it comes time to pass that puck, it's with speed and velocity. It's a very difficult puck to catch because this moved quickly, and Frederick had to do very little. Patra was really shooting at Frederick's stick is what he was doing. Less so a pass, more so just a hard, firm, hey, deflect this, and chucks it on him. Either way, 1-0. It's a great start for that third line. The third line from that point on would get absolutely caved for the rest of the game. We'll talk about highs and lows of Patra's game. It's fun. 5:56 in. McDonough clears the puck out of his zone over the glass. It's a delay of game penalty. Marchand slashed him in the hands right before he made this play. So we're going to go to the power play. I don't know if we deserve it. We're going to go to the power play. We do not do anything with it. 9:34 in. This is not a dangerous transition, but Pasta, given the puck on the blue line, he skates down the right wall and sees he has Wotherspoon on the left side of the slot. Tape-to-tape pass, Wotherspoon from the left circle, collects it, and a little sniper-rooney and cheese! Top blocker, it's 2-0. It's his first NHL goal with the Boston Bruins. What a great night for Wotherspoon. Your first NHL goal coming against Vasilevsky, not too shabby, and it's a 2-goal lead. And I'm going to be real with you. This might seem a little audacious because we still have 50 minutes left of this game. But with the way Swayman's been playing lately, and I even put this on Twitter, the way he's been playing lately, confidence should be high if you have a 2-goal lead. And I guess technically we did allow a couple goals there, but I felt really good at this point. Obviously, you have a 2-goal lead, you should feel good. Swayman's been incredible. He's been really solid for the past couple of weeks, and especially the past couple of starts. So I know I just gave him a failing grade in the midseason. Spoiler alert if you haven't actually watched that yet, but that was more of a body of work of the full first half, not just the last couple of weeks. Really, really great. And he was really, really great in this one. 1:04 left. Semi-breakaway for Lettieri. He never really gets the puck and doesn't end up with a great scoring chance. He's hooked at the moment of shooting, so we're going back to the power play. We'll start the second period with about a minute on the power play. We won't do anything with it, but a minute and 13 into the second period, a bad pass by Zaka leads to an odd man rush for the Bolts. It's a high and wide finish, though, and the Bruins are able to collect it and go right back to work. Pasternak tries to push the puck up the left wall to Marchand. It's stopped in the neutral zone by Lilleberg, but Pasta is there to pound it past him again. Actually gets to Marchand this time. Down the left side, he skates into the left circle, and a little sniper-Indian shit! Far side glove, and it's 3-0. I know I've used Sniper and Cheese twice in this video. They were both absolute snipes. What do you want from me? We haven't had a lot of those moments in this season for me to do that. I need to take advantage. Okay? Okay. On the ensuing shift, Kucherov gets a rebound and a mostly open net. But Swayman manages to come across and gets just enough with the blocker arm that it goes post and out off of him. I want to highlight this moment, right? We just went up 3-0. This game is in the palm of our hand. One thing you can't do is immediately allow a goal the other way. This was an excellent scoring opportunity, a true high danger chance, and a shot that was taken that wasn't just in the center of the net and we got a lucky save. This was a great shot. And Jeremy Swayman comes across and makes the big save. We've talked about this, about goaltender making timely, big saves. The saves when you need them. This was that kind of save. All the criticisms we've had for Jeremy Swayman, although valid, I think, through the first half of the season, are starting to get pushed away because he's making the stops that he should, but adding in a bunch of stops that you'd expect an $8 million goaltender to make. A fantastic save at a pivotal part of the game. That goes in, this is a completely different game. Yeah, we still have a 3-goal lead, but it gets a lot more tense and a lot quicker, and we are already getting largely outplayed at this point. 4:30 in, a transition chance as Zaka down the left side gets by his defenseman. Geeky across the slot does the same. Tape to tape, which we haven't been able to say a lot this season, but a lot in this game. Geeky punts it wide. So close. And then 5:02 in, Zadorov and Chaffee is going to go for, they're going to have a semi-fight with a ref in between them. Gloves on mostly. So roughing for each, we're going to go 4v4 for 2 minutes. During this 4v4, Andrew freaking Peak just walks into the zone and then walks through 2 defenders to go parallel with the net and puts this into Vasilevsky's chest. It bounces back. Little rebound. I'm surprised that Vasilevsky wasn't able to swallow this one up, actually. The Lightning defensemen are there, but Zaka jumps in, collects it, and pushes it across the crease to Pasta, who was bumbling his way into the zone. He lost an edge, was on his knees. He pops up and hammers this high blocker in one motion. It's 4-0, and you feel real good. We're 4-0 against a playoff team with the 2025 Boston Bruins. You feel good about that. 7:37 in. Lilleberg and Frederick drop him. This looks like a response to last game where Kastelik took the cross-check from Lilleberg in the teeth. So Frederick asks to go. Lilleberg goes, yeah, I had this coming. Let's do it. Real stick taps to him. He got just absolutely lit the fuck up, dude. He was getting pounded. Absolutely smacked around. And he stood on his 2 feet, proud, and he fought back as best as he could until the whistle went. But, I mean, this is, you get so used to teams, like the Panthers, who won't answer the bell for their bullshit. Lilleberg was like, yeah, all right, let's do it. He fought a guy who was more experienced fighting, and, he took a whooping. But that was, I think, for both teams, they're like, yeah, hell yeah, man. And it not really woke the Bolts up because they were already playing pretty well at this point. They were finding their groove. But it certainly was another thing to get them over the hump of like, yeah, I'm fighting for my team. A lot of respect there. I think Frederick did the right thing too here, to going after the guy who took his teammate out. So, just one of those hockey moments where it's like, there's not a lot of hatred here. I get why it had to happen, and I'm kind of proud of both guys, if that's kind of weird. Either way, 11:10 left of the period. The Lightning win a face-off left side of our zone. Puck moved to Hedman at the top of the slot. Connor Geeky deflects this shot, high glove. It's 4-1. Nothing Swayman can do. No, not Morgan Geeky. Connor Geeky, his younger brother, who's I think, better than him at hockey, but that's fine. 8:06 left. Wotherspoon and Chiarelli for roughing each. There's another 4v4 for 2 minutes. Nothing going to come from that. 17.2 seconds left. This is where everyone got real nervous because the Lightning are buzzing. Bruins can't really get a clear. They do finally push it out into the neutral zone, but it gets pushed right back in, and after a deflection, ends up on Carlo's stick, who has the ability to clear it. And he promptly flits it to the right wall where it's easily collected and then moved to Kucherov for a chance, which is saved by Swayman. Bad turnover by Carlo late in the period. Tampa recovers the puck again after this save, even though the rebound lands in front of Zadorov and Coyle. But much like Zacha jumping in for Pasta's goal, this was very similar with Paul splitting the D, jumping in and grabbing it. He's going to move it over to Kucherov, who flings it across the slot to Hedman, skating into the far circle. Carlo tries to block it and fails, and Hedman goes low glove. It's 4-2. Carlo actually had some really nice moments in this game where you wouldn't really think of him, right? Just some shutdown stuff where it wasn't obvious. But man, some of the mistakes, just glaring. So glaring. Third period starts, 21 seconds in. Zadorov and Chernak shed him. Quick tussle with Zadorov scoring the takedown. Nothing special out of that. We'll move on. 10:37 left. Koepke gets blown the fuck up by Radish. Primary point of contact is the head. I mean, look, they initially call a 5-minute major and review it, which is the right move. Then they waive it. No call whatsoever. If you want to make the argument that this was not just a blatant intentional infraction and they should have lowered it to a 2-minute minor, I could live with that. The principal point of contact was his head. I know Koepke leaned in to get the puck, but he was leaning the whole way. And we talk about protecting yourself. Those aren't the new age rules to this. Radish comes in, lines up that hit the whole way, and goes right through his head. Radish had an option here. So did Koepke. That's a penalty in my book. The principal point of contact is right through the skull. They waive it. It's not the end of the world, but Koepke needs to be helped down the tunnel. That would end his night, of course. But just, there's a lot of weird stuff here with the refereeing. But that's my opinion. I think it should have at least been a 2-minute minor. But with how much contact came to the head, I wouldn't have been surprised if it was a major. I was surprised that it was waived completely. On the next shift, Chernak absolutely intentionally goes for an elbow through Marchand's head, and Marchand has to literally fall on the ice to dodge it. I mean, sometimes you wonder, like, man, they really got this bravado for doing this thing because no one holds them accountable for any of it. 3:33 left. Carlo's going to go for tripping. He dove to swipe the puck up the boards, but he catches a Bolt's legs with his shoulder. I don't know about the call, but either way, we're going to the penalty kill. We've got a penalty to kill. I kind of get the call, honestly. People were really upset about it and said it was a terrible call, which it wasn't a great call, but he does dive and do this and, he does trip a guy. You could also kind of blame the guy who was skating over him, but I don't know. It was his direct line to the puck. Either way, we're going to go to the penalty kill. Off the initial face-off, Peak hits the empty net from 196 feet. It's 5-2. Peak's first as a Bruin, shorthanded goal. 30 seconds later, Zacha, another empty netter, shorthanded goal. 6-2 is the final. 2 firsts. Peak's first Bruins goal, Wotherspoon's first NHL goal. Love to see it. Let's talk about some game notes real quick. Patra. Some good and some bad. That first shift obviously was great. He had some nice moments in the offensive zone, had some nice back-checking moments, I thought, as well. That line also got absolutely smacked around. Trent Frederick, every time he does something nice, we're like, oh, is Trent Frederick back? And then he just completely turns it. I do not know what's up with him this year, but struggling. I was surprised to see Coyle struggle as much as he did in this game, and I don't think Patra was enough to be a big difference maker, but I thought the three of them in the offensive zone had some moments. For the most part, though, they were very rare to get into the offensive zone. They were dealing with a lot of shifts hemmed in, so obviously, you want to give Patra a couple games here to get back up to speed, but this was an okay game for him, not a great one. Not out of the realm of expectations, though. Swayman, fantastic. First star, excellent. Just all of the positive adjectives. He was awesome. Awesome in this game. And it's going to play a huge role in winning if he continues to have awesome games. Love to see what he's putting together. this was just a little compliment block for him. Good for him. Look, this is my big game note here. This isn't sustainable. We know that. We're getting largely outplayed, but the goaltending has been great, and the team in front has been opportunistic. That's all it's been. That's by design. And right now we have to survive multiple injuries on the back end, injuries to the bottom six. Getting players in, taking advantage of this time to get players in to see what you have with them and see if they can help you win some hockey games. I mean, this is the time to do it, right? The dog days of the season are upon us. You are past the midway point. You're working towards the trade deadline, but things start to turn into more of a slog now. Find what you have. Utilize this time in the best way you can. Get some players up that you can really figure out if they're going to be able to help you this season or not. That's it. This is not sustainable hockey right now. We know that. But we'll take the wins where we can get them and see if we can put together a real run with some real chemistry here shortly. I don't know. I'm just happy to see some dubs. Go Bees. Go Bees! And now it's time to say thank you to the high-quality inspectors. I appreciate each and every one of you. There's over 100 of you at this point. And I love doing these thank yous at the end, but I think we're reaching such a volume that I have to rethink this strategy because you're all so incredible and so supportive. But this is getting really long, and there's got to be a better way, right? But let's start the thank yous, of course, with the top line tier. Dampen, Chris and Erica, Negev79, Trial Exotic, Jeff McGugan, Quackin' Platypus, Andrew Peterson, Sean Kreider, JM, Zenin Noel DeGuy, Donald Shelton, Anakin Palpatine, The Rat 63, Lola Cattingsworth, EKM Productions, Moonlighter TV, Big Bad Bruin, The Bugman, Adam Ella, Jeff with a G, Tommy Braga, Roland 22, GD Viperworks, Len Cruz, Brock Nope, Han Slomo, Coach D, The Atomic Lizard, Bradley Johnson, Brett Arney, Pincent, and Nick Zatrullo. Thank you so much, each and every one of you. You're absolute legends of this channel, and you're very appreciated. And now, of course, to our all-star tier members. Lorenzo Wood, Jake Brower, Penny Pasta, Levi Catalani, Boston Stringler, Bagel, JG's 12, Mark S., Jacob Pratt, Nightmare Eco, John Kirk, Ann Hustis, Joel, Heil E. Coyote, Darren Woodbury, Abraxion, Michael DePaulo, Wolf Warrior, Vinny, Adrian Winter, Tupton D. Tashi, Bruin Smash, DeKingery, The Only Newts, A Tasty Snack, Dutes 42, and Jeremy. Absolute stallions, every single one. Thank you for supporting the channel. Thank you for being a part of the channel. I cannot express my gratitude. Go Bees.